It's Judgment Night on Channel 5. Troy Williamson defends his British Super Welterweight Championship against the pretty boy Josh Kelly. Who wins? Find out Friday, December the 2nd, 9 p.m, live and free on Channel 5.
This is Matt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined by the man behind S-Jam, Shane Watson. Shane, how are things?
Shout out to Adam Morley as well, the other man behind S-Jam, you know. But yeah, no, all good, man, all good. Excited for the weigh-in. Well, as excited as you can be. I mean, it is only two men staring at each other, but excited for it. It's a big fight like Phil. So got the Juggernaut doing a bit of punditry for BT. Yeah, good. I'm excited for it, man. We've got two great characters on stage as well, haven't you, in Chisora and Fury. Let's see if something kicks off and a little bit of fun going on. But I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's still a big fight, isn't it?
It's been a bit friendly most of the week. I mean, Derek's actually said at the press conference he can't say anything bad against Tyson. He's give him the opportunity. He's putting money on his table. What do you make of it? Do you think we'll see anything today, or will it be all fun and games? Because Derek normally at some point does something.
Yeah. They've been friends for over 10 years. I'll tell you something, right? And this is actually a fact. I went to Chisora versus Pulev in where the fuck was it? Was it Germany or Bulgaria? It was years ago. It was
Bulgaria, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. And Fury flew out at last minute. And that was at the fight, and I'm supporting him, was in the changing room and everything. Mate, listen, they're not best friends. I don't think they send each other Christmas cards and things like that and invite each other for like birthdays. But they are pals. Like, I don't have to be like someone's best friend to like be with them all the time. But they're decent like mates. They obviously care about one another to an extent. But listen, it doesn't really matter. That happens loads of times in boxing. When they go in there, they're not going to be friends. But then afterwards they will. But that's like a common thing, isn't it?
We saw at the open workout, they both I thought this is where it could have kicked off. They went over to each other. Tyson put his hand on Chisora like that, and I thought, here we go. And they turned around and they sort of made an agreement that, look, first round, we're just going to go at it, a war. Do you believe that will happen? Because if you do that, you give Chisora more of a chance, don't you?
You know what? I wouldn't ever like write anything off with Tyson Fury. Like, I don't think even he knows what he's probably going to do until he gets in there. But I wouldn't have thought so. But listen, Chisora can whack and whatnot, but I don't think that really gives him a chance, mate. Like, I ain't being funny. If you can take that right hand off of Wilder, which he's now done quite a few times, I don't see what shot Chisora throws that can knock him out. Yeah. I know they all say heavyweight boxing and whatnot, but yeah, I get that. But like the heavyweights that Chisora knocks out are the ones that are like on the slide kind of thing, yeah? Like people like Spilker and people like that who are like done in boxing. Like he didn't overly hurt Pulev that much, and he's well past it. So,
but I know we keep referencing the Wilder stuff, and I'm all for it because I believe it. But is there only a certain amount of times you can keep climbing up off the deck after you've been knocked down that many times? Because at some point you've got to think, he's 34. I mean, he says, I know he's probably maybe trying to make out like that he's slowing down, so there's more intrigue in the fight. He doesn't look past it at all to me, Tyson Fury. But is there a certain amount of time you can just keep coming back up where you get to the point where it's like, you know what, I can't keep getting back up, or not?
No, of course. Like everyone has wear and tear, and it's not just that. It's the sparring as well. Like he's sparring hard rounds all the time. That's where the real damage is done, actually. And yeah, like, mate, it's not just that as well. You got to think it's the abuse he's done to his body over the years. Like the time he took out, the alcohol abuse, and obviously the substances he's done and stuff. That takes its toll in you over a life when you're fighting against athletes who've lived a very clean lifestyle. But listen, he still looks like he's got a lot left to give. I think he has slowed down a lot, actually.
Do you think he slowed?
I think, yeah, that's why he has to stand toe-to-toe with people a bit more. I don't think he's as fast and he's fit as he once was. Listen, he's still an exceptional heavyweight and he's still number one in my opinion until Joe Joyce fights him. But he has slowed down a lot. Of course he has, yeah.
All right then. Right, well, let's come on to Daniel Dubois. Yeah. He's going in against Lenihan. Expected to win. Yeah. Comments made by him about the Joe Joyce fight, about it will be different next time. Learned a lot. You mentioned your references. He said something like that he didn't get hurt that much in the fight. What do you make of them comments, and would you be open to a rematch down the line?
Dubois has every right to say it'll be different next time because he should believe in himself. And if they were to have a rematch, he should believe he can win. That's what you're supposed. If you're a heavyweight boxer and you're fighting at world level, you've got to back yourself. So I'm all for that. But to say that about the last fight, he broke half of his face, man. Like, and I'm not even being disrespectful. It's the truth. Like, you smashed your face to pieces. Like, you can't be going to saying he didn't get battered and whatnot, but he did. And he beat you with one arm as well. He only ever had to throw a left hand the whole fight. Everyone spoke about Dubois jab before that fight, and who was the one who had the actual better jab in the ring? It was Joe by a mile. Listen, it's just nonsense. Dubois been talking nonsense all week anyway. Like some of the stuff I've been hearing him saying, it's like he doesn't really know what to say. He just kind of says what comes to his head on the spot. But like the worst thing they could do right now is put Dubois back in with Joe. He isn't over that defeat yet. You can see he's not over it, and he hasn't had the wins and the experience yet to go back in there with someone like Joe. This is why he should never have fought Joe in the first place. And now you're going to go. You can't fight Kevin Lerena and Trevor Bryan, and then put him back in with Joe Joyce who just knocked out Parker. Like it'd be absolutely outrageous. Like, and Dubois has a bright future ahead of him. Like, because he's got a great trainer. Frank Warren's backing him. And if he gets moved at the right pace and he fights the right people, he's got a very, very bright future. But talking about putting him in there, people like Joe and Usyk and even AJ, like, ridiculous, man. He's nowhere near that level yet. You've got to put him in there with someone like a Joseph Parker or someone like that. And then we'll see what he's made of.
That'd be an interesting fight, because we talk about Joseph Parker as if, obviously, we know what Joe did in the fight, as in Joe Joyce. Fucking hell, my like's having a fucking fit again. Right? But Joe Parker was brilliant that night, and on another night he'd have stopped quite a lot of heavyweights. He was really good. What do you make of that fight? If Parker was to fight a Dubois, it'd still be a big fight. What would you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. I don't know how that works broadcast-wise, because I don't know if Sky would want to give up Parker for a second fight in a row. But it's a great fight because there's a lot of unanswered questions around Dubois. He fought at world level once and he got knocked out. So I want to know. We need to know like what kind of level he is. Fighting Kevin Lerena doesn't tell us his world level, because Lerena won a world cruiserweight title and it was the IBO version, right? So we still don't really know what Dubois can bring to the table yet. But a fight against Parker or mate, anyone, even like kind of like a Pulev, anyone of that kind of level, just to see where he's at. He hasn't fought anyone like that yet.
Just moving back to Big Joe Joyce, could we potentially see him and Tyson next year? I know Tyson wants to tick off Old Trafford on his bucket list. I asked Tyson about that, he says, why not, who knows? So that's something you're potentially looking at?
Yeah, there's a lot of talks going on at the moment. So we're looking at a fight early next year, defence of the WBO interim title. It has to be someone in the top 15 of WBO, otherwise you lose your belt basically. So, and I like the thought of a southpaw. So if you have a look in the rankings, there's only 2 in there, so it can be hopefully one of those guys. Because he only fought a southpaw since his 4th pro fight, which was Leroy Thomas.
Yeah. So that seems like such a long time ago, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And listen, if we're going to fight Fury Usyk, which we are, before the end of next year, getting a southpaw in when you're fighting a switch hitter or someone who's just a southpaw would be the logical way to go about things. So.
Just in terms of Joe Joyce, we're going to leave it on this. Eddie Hearn always talks about the resume of an Anthony Joshua, and he's done this and this. But in terms of when Joe started, because he started late, has he got one of the best resumes that you've seen for a heavyweight that's been done in such a short period of time? He must have. It has to be up there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Joe's resume in 15 fights is an absolute joke. Like, people were talking about Joshua's, after 16 because he fought Charles Martin. Like, again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Charles Martin. I like him a lot, actually. He's a good bloke, but no one can touch Joe Joyce's resume. And believe it or not, we would have fought harder people if we were given the option, but no one wanted to fight him. Now the risk-reward factor, but now the risk-reward factor's there because Joe's got those wins. Parker, Dubois, the risk now, and also he's #1 in WBO interim champions. And now people are a bit more like, we will fight Joyce because a bit more is there now. But before, mate, the money that we have to pay opponents, well, not us, but the promoter, it's ridiculous. But now we've cemented in that name. He's got that interim slot, and he will fight Fury or Usyk next year, absolutely guaranteed.
Well, it's going to be exciting times. I look forward to seeing what Big Joe does next. I was ringside for the Parker fight, and it was scary actually what were happening in that ring. So Shane, thanks for talking to Boxing Social. We'll catch up again after this fight, and exciting for next year.
That's it. Yeah, we've got some big things happening in Estram, some new signings for early next year. Everyone's going to be active as well. We'll always keep everyone active, and then ready for tomorrow night to hopefully see another Fury KO.
Let's see. Shane Watson, appreciate your time.
Top man.